Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay. Another team you got?
I will put the Pacers on there. I wasn't high on the Pacers, so for my meter, they're fine. If I was a fan of the Pacers and I ate all the Kool-Aid and drank, I should say, drank all the Kool-Aid all off season, that this is going to be like a top team in the East. I think they showed they're not. There's some like crazy. I should have screenshotted it before the Bucks game where they just played in Milwaukee. Like Tyrese Halliburton splits between shooting on the road and at home. Like
Oh,
there's something
crazy.
that he has like bad like lower back or hamstring, and like the difference between him playing on the road when he doesn't get to sleep in his bed, like he's like 20% from three, and at home he's like normal. But I just they're a fine team, but I think we were spot on that they've kind of been figured out and teams kind of know what to expect and they get away with it. And like the Bucks were murdering them, and then the Bucks relaxing. They ran, they got their transition game going, and it's quick, but I just don't think they're that good. And my confidence that they were, I think I had a play-in team. I would put a 10 at that. If I was a fan of the Pacers, my panic meter would be, like a 6 or 7. But I think we, to this point, have nailed what the Pacers are.
Yeah. I agree with you. So I got to actually home road splits here. He's 46% field goal percentage at home, 31% on the road, 22% on the road for three, and 42% at home, just to emphasize the point. But yeah, I think we both had them like fringe playing playoff teams, right? So that's about where they are. That's what they're going to be. So I haven't seen much improvement to show us otherwise. And actually, the Halliburton thing is kind of weird too. Like it's not a wrinkle we thought that was going to happen as far as like him being so bad at on the road versus at home, but it's contributing to the inconsistencies of the Pacers so far early on in the season.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, and you got another team?
Yeah, well, might as well just take the whale in the room, the 76ers. This is this is borderlining on just, you know, thankfully the Bucks got out of this, but this is just approaching like epic flop of a season. Um, it just it got off bad, and again, they're technically 2 games out of the 10 seed, so there's always hope that they can squeeze into that. But from what we thought, I had them as a contender. Um, so my panic meter is going to be a 10 here because Embiid, he sat out, which was alarming. Then he played a couple games where he just loafed around, and then he like that Memphis game. I watched a large chunk of that Memphis game. Like, oh, that's Joel Embiid. He's falling all over the floor, and he finally turned it up and played hard, and his knee's swelling. Um, and if his knee is going to swell when he plays hard, the Sixers are dead in the water as far as being a contender. And Paul George hurt. McCain has saved their season, but I think we saw it the last couple of games. He's kind of like come down to earth a little. Teams got a scout on him now, but it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, McCain's the lone bright spot of the season, really, and he he would be better if and he's been really great, don't get me wrong, but he could probably continue to be good if PG and B were playing more at a healthy level because then he'd have less attention on him. Um, do you know how many minutes that Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George have played together this season?
10.
Yes, he nailed it.
I knew it was only one part of a game, and I was like, oh, I don't know if it was a full quarter or close to it. It's not a lot.
They are 28th in offense and 18th in defense. I was listening to a podcast and they talked about because of his knees, they predict that he might be done because NBA players and knees like Chandler Parsons, Brandon Roy, Tracy McGrady, it's just so hard for them to heal. And he's a big dude. And I just don't know if he'll, I hope not. I'm at a 9.5, not quite a 10, 9.5, because my only hope is we haven't seen these three guys healthy. Now, will we? I don't know, but this team can be good in theory, but we got to see it, and I don't know if we'll see it. So I'm with you. My panic meter as a high. I just have them at a 0.5 because if them two end up to find a way to be a little healthy, like Paul George gets healthy, and then MB can find a way to manage and be healthy, you add McCain to that. I think that's going to be a fun team to watch, but it's gotta be the health thing, and unfortunately, Paul George does not know how to pick them, with Kawhi and Embiid.
It just, and Embiid, you worry because he did. I mean, you look at him, he's lost a good 20, 25 pounds. But now, like, he can't do cardio when your knee swells. Like, he can't just get on the treadmill and be like, all right, well, I mean, you don't want to walk on it, you want to do anything. So now your cardio goes, I can't, proper word, your conditioning goes down. Yeah. And it's hard to keep the weight off. And like you said, I always thought, like, his career would probably be cut short, but he looked good last year. But you're right. Like, it's really creeped into my mind. Like, he played 2 games, well, 2.5 game or a game and a half, basically the second half of that Miami game where he kind of looked like himself in that Memphis game. And then his knee swells up and now he's out the last 3 games, or he's not going to play tomorrow either. Like, that's like a red light of how long do you got to shut him down? You got to shut him down for the rest of 2024. Great. His conditioning is going to be shot. And again, you're not going to build any team continuity. And how good are the Sixers without, even if PG comes back, he's not going to be 100%. His knee, he's hyperextended the same knee twice in a month.
Yeah, and it's such a fluke, but yeah, it's crazy. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. And Luke was telling me that there has been a little rumors about maybe cutting bait with Paul George and Embiid and just building around Maxey McCain moving forward, which might be the smart thing to do for all parties involved. But I don't know who would want Embiid at this point. Maybe the Clippers, because if they're like, hey, if we can get those two, like Leonard and Embiid healthy, we're gonna be great. I don't know.
And he just signed that extension, Embiid, so he's got like 3 or 4 years left. So it could get dark, because you're right. Like, if he's not going to play much this year, who's going to be like, let's take on that deal?
Correct. Yeah. It had to be a team that's like desperate, wanting to make a big move. Maybe like the Nets, they might be, but I don't think a team will have to pay a lot for him either, though. So yeah. Okay, that's depressing. Okay, well, give me another team. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.